Lily had always been fascinated by the old, abandoned house at the end of her street. It stood like a skeletal giant, its windows shattered, its door hanging crookedly on hinges that creaked with every breeze. But it wasn't the house itself that drew her in. It was the shadow. Every evening, just as the sun dipped below the horizon, a shadow would stretch from the house chimney and crawl across the neighborhood like a living thing. It wasn't just any shadow, it was impossibly long, twisting and writhing as if alive. At first, Lily thought it was her imagination, but then she started noticing something strange. The shadow seemed to be watching her. One night, driven by a mix of curiosity and fear, Lily approached the house. The shadow was there, stretching toward her like a dark, serpentine finger. She froze, her heart pounding, as the shadow began to move, curling and uncurling, as if beckoning her closer. "You shouldn't be here," a voice whispered. Lily spun around, but there was no one there. The voice seemed to come from the shadow itself. "Who are you?" she demanded, her voice trembling. There was no answer. Instead, the shadow darted toward her, wrapping itself around her ankle like a cold, wet chain. She tried to pull away, but it held her in place. Then, in an instant, it released her and slithered back to the house. Lily ran home, her mind racing. But the next evening, she found herself standing in front of the house again. The shadow was waiting. This time, it didn't just watch, it spoke. "You feel it, don't you?" It hissed. "The weight of your secrets, the things you've hidden." Lily's breath caught. How did it know? "You think you're the only one with shadows," it continued. "Everyone has them. But yours are different. Yours are alive." Before she could respond, the shadow lunged at her, enveloping her in darkness. When it retreated, Lily was gone. The next morning, police found her phone on the porch, the screen shattered. The last text she'd sent was a single sentence: "It's inside me now." And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, the shadow stopped appearing. The house stood silent, its secret buried within its crumbling walls. But some say that on certain evenings, when the sun dips low, you can still see the shadow, longer than ever before, stretching across the neighborhood, searching for its next victim. And if you're lucky, it might just find you.